This is the first episode of r/mildly infuriating. This 30 € dishwashing brush my wife bought after 3 up and down movements through a lukewarm pan. Yeah, it's gonna break soon. Maybe use it on stuff where you can be very gentle so it lasts longer, but yeah, it's terrible. Just get a new one. This generation is cooked. It's not cooked. Most of Generation Alpha I know of, when they talk about Skibidi Toilet, they don't like it. I don't know how accurate it is, but also Generation Z had brain rot that was even worse. That is terrible. They're definitely trying to capitalize on it, but that's like terrible. It's like as bad as there was poo slime on a post from the 2010s. That was pretty bad as well. Kind enough to put it in a bag at least. Please don't leave it in the wilderness. It is artificial. Put it somewhere else. I mean, if you throw it away, it'll end up in nature anyways, unfortunately, but you're delaying it. Also, you're polluting it. Country is richer than Brazil. Yep. Brazil recently stole Brunei's flag because they thought it was better, and they're like, I don't want to design my own, so they made their own. Just kidding, but that's not Brazil's flag. This doesn't have the J key. Well, it's fine, you can just copy and paste it. Seriously, that is annoying, but you have another keyboard, right? Someone used my bike lock to wipe crap off their shoe. Yeah, it does look like it will work well, but if someone else owns it, that's terrible. Don't wipe crap on someone else's stuff unless they let you, which they probably won't let you unless it's intended for wiping crap on it, or it's like a plant that's in nature. Oh, it broke! Of course it broke. I just want to take the cap off. That's what the title says. That is really weird. How is it that fragile? Well, that's not very many, but they look delicious. Just see if you can find one that has more chips by peeling it if you can, if it's not in a vending machine. Oh, a piece of the puzzle fell off after you put it in the frame. You can probably like take it out of the frame and put it back, but still. Kinda sucks how it just fell off. Puzzles can be pretty weak. Maybe there need to be more magnetic ones so that way it doesn't fall apart as easily. People using these carts couldn't be bothered to put them back correctly and instead stack them behind someone else's car. At least put them in the dividers if you're too lazy to put them back to the shopping cart place. It's not that hard, and also you have to make sure it doesn't get in the way. How lazy do they have to be to at least not put it in the dividers in between? Or you have to put it in the shopping cart place because that's not so far away, is it? The amount of detergent that gets wasted because of the giant lip on the bottle. They need to make it a little easier to get all the stuff out. I don't know if they think about that when designing some of these detergent bottles, but they need to think about like how much is being wasted when it's being poured out of the bottle and it's not cut. Oh, even more shrinkflation. They're making the toilet paper smaller. I don't mind it that much, but still, they need to make sure they're not being too greedy because it's just so freaking annoying. They don't care. I mean, it's not really causing major problems, but still, it's like, can you please? It's not that hard to just put a little more toilet paper on there. Also, it's better if you don't have to buy more. At least we don't have a toilet paper shortage anymore, because if we did, that would be even worse. Anytime I Google anything with ampersand in it, it cuts everything else off. Oh yeah, they need to fix that. It's kind of just like going back to test, and they need to make sure they know when it's like inputted from the user and not inputted from the user. It's probably something deep in the code that's like, oh, this is supposed to represent this, so like it has to cut off there, but still they need to remember that the user types that stuff in as well, so they have to be careful to make sure it doesn't do that when the user's typing it. Left my slides to dry and this happened. Well, they're pretty curled now. They have to make them so they're less curled, but I guess they don't care if they want money. But it is annoying, but at least you can just, when you wear them, it's not gonna be that way as much after you walk in it a little while. Hopefully, this literal garbage. You can just put it in the garbage can. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. You can throw it away, but still, it's not hard to put it in there. They kind of just wasted an orange. It looks like there's a lot less left. If you don't like the orange, maybe give it to someone else if they don't mind eating something you ate from. Open/use A1 sauce is still 48. They can't do that. That's not safe. They should probably get like sued for that. This kind of packaging should be outlawed. I don't think it should literally, but they need to make it so there's like a tab you can pull on to make it easier to pull off without the bottom layer being stuck. You can just poke a hole in it, but still it's annoying. What is that anyway? It doesn't look edible, but it could be edible. Small, medium, extra large. Yep, we don't need large, okay? People don't use those laundry sizes. They just do extra large and medium and the others. Of course not. I guess they just didn't know how to program it to do that for this model, but or maybe they didn't have time, but try to design it better, because that's kind of dumb, I guess. Had to get car repaired after it was hit. Interior was left dirty. They should clean it, but maybe they forgot. They shouldn't forget though if they're doing it professionally. It's kind of stupid, but at least it's not germy. That's a lot of images. Is it so hard to throw it in the trash? Seriously, all you have to do is walk over there and throw it there. You didn't even drink it entirely. Maybe they just left it there and forgot about it, but still, they need to make sure when they have trash, they just throw it away and don't leave it somewhere. And don't forget about it. Also, that trash can looks like it could collapse very easily. Like, it should have been designed better with 2 poles instead of 1, because it could like go bend down, because the trash could be really heavy. I don't know what it's made of, so maybe it won't do that with a lot of trash, but what if most of the trash just happens to be really heavy? It could bend down. Oh, that looks delicious. I can't wait to eat it. That's not as much as I thought. It's still delicious, but that's not very much meat. They could put a little bit more. I guess maybe they had less than they needed, like they were in short supply, but maybe they were greedy. I don't like Red Baron, but I'm sure they probably do, so that's why they're eating it. Or maybe they're just doing it because it's a common brand. That's really melty. That's annoying. Maybe you can just wear gloves, I don't know. Just kidding. That is a really bright light. They need to design it so it's less bright, but I wonder if the neighbor can do something about turning it off, or you can just tell them to cover it. Maybe they can cover it, but you can just like not be there too much if you want to relax so you can go to sleep soon, but you still want to be outside to like enjoy outside, I guess. You spit the gum on there. I hope they didn't steal it as well. Throw it away, please. I guess they just left some evidence, but like, if that's stolen, they probably have the security camera, but even if they bought it and just brought it in there and put it there, that's really disgusting, and they just have to walk to a close garbage can. Happy Halloween! It must be sarcastic. Maybe they don't want you to enjoy your Halloween and they're not enjoying it. They think Halloween is overrated and it sucks, or wait, just kidding. This is an air dryer and it's gonna get a bunch of water on the power outlet, and you're gonna have to cover it with your legs or something for it to not get on the outlet and the cord and shock people, and it's probably violating a rule, and they need to have someone call on them so they can fix it or maybe get legally punished. This is not a start sign, it's a stop sign. Don't put the word start there. They could just put like a different kind of sign, like maybe a white rectangle window. I don't know what those mean. Maybe they're just like miscellaneous and don't mean anything in particular. There's not enough icing. It tastes great and it needs to have like a lot of the filling and the icing, but I guess either they had like a supply shortage or they just didn't want to use much because they were greedy. I hope it's not because they were greedy, but it's just disappointing. Like, it's not worth it without enough of the icing. Okay, this didn't have sauce on it. Put your own sauce, it's fine. It's probably gonna be better than the sauce they put on there, but how do they mess that up? I guess the factory had a setting turn off, which would be weird. You're supposed to have all the settings turned on for the making of the product. Okay, that's so many crumbs. That happens to me a lot, and they need to make it a little stronger so that doesn't happen. I like eating it out of the bag, but usually it doesn't have much of the frosting, so it doesn't taste as good as the other stuff. It sucks when that happens that much. It says it's Tunisia, but that's not one of the answers. They have to put it on there. You can report this and tell them to not lower your grade for getting that wrong. Yeah, and you could have written the correct answer before you clicked on one of them, so you had proof of it. And like you could have recorded yourself doing it and like written it down on paper, I guess, and then shown the teacher. Okay, that's a vent. They just put it randomly over there. Please design your buildings to look better. That's really weird. They probably just didn't care, but it would be stupid if they didn't notice. Why does that happen? You can just like push down on it with a butter knife and it will break. I don't know. You can use a can opener, but they have to make it so it doesn't break off, but of course they don't do it very well. They don't have the word prairie here. They must have accidentally cut it off. And they don't have the word cow either. It's really not that big, but maybe it was accidentally cut off, but it was supposed to be there. Cow is supposed to be there as well. It's not. They should test these. I said this in the crappy design episode 5 video. You need to test puzzles. Like, sometimes there were impossible mazes, and this time this word search is impossible. They need to get a human to, or actually, they need to get a computer to solve it. Well, both actually, just in case the computer glitches. They need to get a human and a computer to solve it so they can test if it's able to be solved or not. And also if it's too easy or not. This is for children, so they'll have to get children to test this as well as adults to see if it's possible and if it's too easy for the age demographic. Okay, so they lost power because of a hurricane. They solved this entire puzzle in the time it took them to get it back, or maybe they're still not having it at the time of this being posted. It caused a lot of damage, but it looks like their house isn't destroyed. It's just, people need to be prepared for that stuff, but also there's not too much you can do, especially if we're poor.